Alright, so here's an honest review of the InventoryLab software. To give you guys some context, I've sold almost $2 million on Amazon, and I'm an Amazon seller that pretty much depends on InventoryLab for my accounting and shipping stuff to Amazon. So, right off the bat, should you get InventoryLab? And honestly, I could not imagine running my business without InventoryLab. The amount of accounting headache that comes with running an Amazon business is absolutely insane. Uh, and I have not seen other softwares do a better job. So I'm not an accountant, I'm not a CPA. I did go to college and I did take classes like managerial accounting, so I feel like I'm somewhat qualified to talk about accounting. I also talked to a friend who is very good at accounting, that's pretty much his job. And from what I've seen, comparing InventoryLab to say Sellerboard or to say other softwares, right? I really do like InventoryLab, and I could not imagine having any other software other than InventoryLab to do my accounting for my business. And the thing is, with InventoryLab, is it has a lot of features that the other softwares just simply don't have, and it's pretty much essential. Like I was looking. I hope Inventory Lab doesn't watch this video. I was looking at like my my Inventory Lab dashboard, and I was like, I don't know what I would do without Inventory Lab. They've been raising their prices, and I honestly think the price that they have it at is a bit ridiculous. It's like $80 a month now, and they just keep on increasing it, which I really don't like because that gets a lot of newer sellers not $80 a month. Like that's a lot. You're already paying for Keepo, which is $20 a month, then $80 a month for Inventory Lab. Then you're paying for Seller and Probably, right? So that's like another $23 a month, and then you got to pay for Repricer, and then you got like all this other stuff, right? So somebody new might think, okay, like I'm going to skip out on Inventory Lab. It's $80 a month. I'm going to go with Sellerboard or these other accounting softwares, and I personally have not seen um, any benefit in using the other softwares accounting wise. I've seen so many holes and flaws in their accounting system, and even Inventory Lab does have some flaws that you have to figure out how to account for yourself. But from an accounting standpoint, I think Inventory Lab is unmatched. And I was like, well, if Inventory Lab was double, I would probably still pay it, but I would absolutely hate paying it. And I think that would also make a lot of other people never get Inventory Lab because it would be too expensive. So, in my opinion, I think Inventory Lab should be cheaper so other people adopt it more and it would become a more well known software. So people who are getting into selling on Amazon can get that software, because that's the thing is when you first decide on what software you want to use with accounting, you're kind of stuck with it because it's insanely hard to transfer over all of the data from one to the other. I know some softwares can do it, some can't, right? But basically, Inventory Lab accounting wise has been the best accounting software I've seen out there for Amazon sellers. Uh, and I'm not even like this isn't like sponsoring it. I'm just kind of making a video to give you guys my honest opinion on it. And if you guys want to get it, great. If you don't want to get it, that's awesome too. If you want to go with Seller, like I've seen people say that Sellerboard's pretty good. I didn't necessarily like it. I think the accounting wise, Inventory Lab just makes a lot more sense. Another one huge mistake that I made when I first started on Amazon was not paying for Inventory Lab, because I had to spend hours upon hours trying to figure out the numbers when I could have just paid $80 a month and then, uh, you know, had it all in Inventory Lab, and I just have to input the buy costs and then pretty much all my other expenses, and I can figure out how much money I actually made running the business. Another thing too that pays for Inventory Lab hand over fist, because I know paying for that expense really sucks, to be honest, especially when you're first starting out, is when you go into Inventory Lab, there's a tab called ASIN Profitability. And that tab, when you see your ASIN Profitability, it shows you what's making you money and what's not making you money. A lot of people don't understand that when you're selling high return categories like shoes or like clothing and apparel, you might send something into Amazon and it could get returned. Like somebody could buy it, it could get returned, and let's say you lose like $7 on the return. And then somebody else buys it and then it gets returned again. You lose another $7. Then Amazon still says it's sellable, right? So somebody else buys it, then it gets returned again. I had an item get returned like 8 times before. So I lost like, what is that, like $90 on that one item before. But I didn't know that until I had InventoryLab, right? And then also the other thing too is when you go into InventoryLab and look at ASIN profitability, you can find things like that happen. You're like, what happened here? And then also you can see, okay, like this is making me money. Maybe I should just do that. Like maybe I should just try to keep this item in stock, or maybe I should just try to do this. And it just makes you realize that, okay, if I just do this, and maybe I'm making all my money, doing this one thing. Maybe I can double that, right? And that has been phenomenal. Like I don't know how to say it other than that, because if you have a certain style of doing things, maybe you like sourcing whatever brand, right? So like let's say you're sourcing, I don't know, let's say Carhartt, right? Whatever it is, Carhartt brand, right? And it's doing super well for you. You'll see it under the ASIN profitability in InventoryLab, and then you'll know, okay, I got to double down on this brand. Let's find what other websites have this brand, and then I'm going to start selling more of it, right? We're going to try to get double the inventory of this, and we're going to sell double, and we're going to make double the profit. And I feel like that is a pivotal data point that you don't really have in a lot of other softwares. It will just show you like, oh, your profit per day is this, right? And that's like cool, but you need to see like, okay, what specifically made me money here? Like what thing made me money like right here? And InventoryLab shows that they show you all the other expenses, and it's very good. I really like InventoryLab. I recommend it to pretty much everybody that starts an Amazon business. The only people that I don't recommend it to is maybe people that are starting out in like the first like 3 months selling on Amazon, because they might just not want to sell. Like you might start selling on Amazon in the first 3 months and be like, this is not it, because like this business is very hard, and it's very simple, and it's not like too complicated. And I think it's one of the best businesses to start. But some people like just don't want to run an inventory based business that has all these different headaches and deal with Amazon and always be dependent on Amazon. So that's completely understandable. So maybe if you're in the first 3 months of selling on Amazon, maybe don't get InventoryLab. But if you get it from day one, it's super helpful, especially if you know, okay, I'm doing this for the long term. I'm selling on Amazon for the long term. This is going to help me out to reach my goal for this. I think it's a really great software. And all in all, I would get InventoryLab. Out of all the other ones, I don't like them. I like InventoryLab the best. That's why I've stuck with InventoryLab. Like, there's a reason why a lot of the big prep centers use InventoryLab, because it's good, right? So, thank you for watching. Really appreciate it.